The glass shattered against the wall beside my head. I didn't flinch anymore. 40 years old, my cousin Sangwoo laughed, wiping soju from his lips. And still untouched. What kind of Omega are you? The room, my own birthday dinner, erupted in laughter. I smiled. I always smiled. But my hands trembled under the table, nails digging into my palms until I tasted copper in my throat. Maybe he's broken, someone said. Maybe no alpha wants him. I stood, bowed, thanked them for coming. Then I walked out into the Seoul rain, alone, like I always did, like I always would. My name is Hanul. I'm 40 years old. I work at a small accounting firm in Gangnam, filing taxes for people who don't remember my name. I live in a studio apartment with a broken heater and a window that doesn't close all the way. And yes, I'm still a virgin, not by choice, not because I'm waiting for someone special, but because no alpha has ever looked at me twice. I'm too quiet, too plain, too forgettable. My scent is barely there, like rain on pavement, my doctor once said. Nothing that calls to an alpha, nothing that makes them turn their head. I used to think that was a blessing. No heats, no bonds, no one controlling my life. But tonight, walking through the neon-lit streets of Itaewon, drenched and invisible, I realized the truth. I wasn't free. I was just unwanted. I stopped under a flickering streetlight, rain pooling around my cheap dress shoes. My phone buzzed. A group chat. My cousins. Sangwoo. Bet he dies alone, lol. Minsuk. 40-year-old virgin Omega? That's gotta be a record. Choi Kihyun. Maybe he's cursed. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. Then I turned it off. I should have gone home. But my feet carried me somewhere else. Down a narrow alley I'd passed 100 times but never entered. A bar, no sign. Just a red door and the faint smell of smoke and something sharper. Something that made my pulse skip. Alphas. I hesitated. Normal Omegas didn't go into alpha bars alone, especially not ones like me. But I was tired. Tired of being the joke. Tired of smiling through the humiliation. Tired of being invisible. So I pushed the door open. The air inside hit me like a fist. Thick, heavy, drenched in alpha pheromones. My knees almost buckled, but I forced myself forward toward the bar, ignoring the eyes that turned toward me. Water, I whispered to the bartender. He looked at me like I'd asked for poison. You lost, Omega? No, my voice cracked. Just water. Please. He slid a glass toward me, shaking his head. I sat, drank, tried not to feel the weight of every alpha in the room watching me like I was prey. Then the air shifted. The door opened again, and every single alpha in that bar went still. I didn't turn around, but I felt him. A scent, cold, sharp, like steel in winter storms, wrapped around my throat. My glass slipped from my hand. It didn't shatter, because a hand, large, scarred, with rings on every finger, caught it mid-fall. Careful, a voice said. Low, controlled, dangerous. I looked up, and my heart stopped. He was tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in black, with a long coat that swept the floor. His face was sharp, all angles and shadows with dark eyes that didn't blink. But it wasn't his face that made my breath catch. It was the way he looked at me, like I was the only person in the room, like I mattered. You're shaking, he said, setting the glass down in front of me. I pulled my hands into my lap. I'm fine. You're lying. His voice wasn't cruel, just certain. He slid onto the stool beside me, and the bartender immediately poured him a drink without asking. What's your name? He asked. I swallowed. Hanul. Hanul. He repeated it slowly, like he was tasting it. Why are you here, Hanul? My throat closed. I don't know. He tilted his head, studying me with those unblinking eyes. You're an Omega. Yes. Unmated. Yes. Alone. I nodded. He leaned closer, and my entire body went rigid. Do you know who I am? I shook my head. His lips curved. Not quite a smile, more like a promise. Good, he said. Keep it that way. Then he stood, dropped a black card on the bar, and walked toward the door. I should have let him leave, but something in me, something desperate and reckless and tired of being nothing, made me stand. Wait, he stopped, turned. Why did you catch my glass? For a long moment, he just stared at me. Then he walked back, slow, deliberate, until he was close enough that I could feel the heat radiating off him. Because, he said, voice dropping to a whisper, when something precious is about to break. He reached out, fingers brushing my jaw. Barely a touch, but it burned. You don't let it fall. Then he was gone, and I stood there trembling, my skin on fire where he'd touched me. My pulse stuttered. I stood there frozen on the rain-slicked pavement, watching his silhouette disappear into the glow of neon signs and shadow. Go home, I told myself. Forget him. Forget the way he looked at you like you weren't invisible. But my feet didn't move. My heart wouldn't stop racing. And his scent, steel and storms, clung to my skin like a brand I couldn't wash off. I turned back toward the bar. The red door was still open. Music spilled out, low and pulsing. I should leave. I should go back to my small apartment, crawl into bed, and pretend tonight never happened. But I couldn't, because for the first time in 40 years, someone had seen me, and I wanted, no, needed, to know why. I pushed the door open again. The bartender looked up, surprised. Back already? I nodded, throat tight. The man who was just here, the one in black. His expression shifted, guarded, almost afraid. You don't want to know. I do. He wiped down the counter, avoiding my eyes. Listen, Omega, whatever you think you're looking for, I just want to know his name. Silence, then quietly, Kihyun. The name settled in my chest like a stone. Kihyun, I repeated. The bartender leaned in, voice dropping. He's not someone you approach, not someone you follow. If he wanted you to know more, he would have told you. Who is he? The bartender's jaw tightened. Someone dangerous, someone you should forget. But I couldn't. I thanked him and left, heart hammering, legs unsteady. The rain had stopped. The streets of Ida 1 glittered under the city lights, wet and alive. I walked aimlessly, replaying every second in my head. His voice, his touch, the way he'd looked at me like I was something precious. Precious. No one had ever used that word for me, not even as a joke. I stopped at a convenience store, bought a bottle of water I didn't want, and stood outside under the fluorescent lights. My phone buzzed. The group chat again. I didn't open it. Instead, I stared at my reflection in the store window. Damp hair, cheap coat, eyes that looked too tired for 40. Pathetic, I whispered. Not the word I'd use. I spun around, and there he was, Kihyun, standing 3 feet away, hands in his pockets, eyes unreadable. My breath caught. How? I followed you. Why? He stepped closer. Slow, deliberate. Because you asked me to wait. I didn't mean... You did. His gaze pinned me in place. You wanted to know why I caught your glass, why I touched you, why I looked at you like that. I couldn't speak. He tilted his head, studying me the way a wolf studies prey. So tell me, Hanol, what do you want from me? The question hung in the air between us, heavy and impossible. What did I want? To feel wanted, to feel seen, to stop being the joke. But I couldn't say that, so I said the only truth I had left. I don't know. His lips curved. That same almost smile from before. Liar. He reached out, fingers brushing my wrist, and my pulse exploded beneath his touch. You came back to that bar because something in you recognized something in me. I don't even know you. You don't need to. His thumb traced the inside of my wrist, slow, deliberate, and my knees nearly gave out. Your scent, he murmured. It's faint, almost nothing. But when I got close, he leaned in and I stopped breathing. It was everywhere. That's not possible, I whispered. I barely have a scent. You do. His voice dropped, rough and low. Rain, cold earth, something clean and untouched. Untouched. The word burned. I'm not. I pulled my wrist back, stepping away. I'm not what you think I am. And what do I think you are? Someone worth chasing? He laughed. Soft, dark, dangerous. You're right. I don't chase, Hano. He stepped forward, closing the distance I just created. I claim. My back hit the store window. He caged me in, one hand pressed against the glass beside my head, the other still holding my wrist. Tell me to leave, he said quietly, and I will. I should tell him to go, to forget me, to stop looking at me like I was something he wanted to devour. But the word wouldn't come, because I didn't want him to leave. I wanted him to stay. I wanted him to keep looking at me like I mattered, even if it destroyed me. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, jaw tightening. Then he released me, stepping back. I have to go. Wait. He pulled a card from his coat and pressed it into my hand. Black. No name. Just a number. Call me, he said, when you figure out what you want. Then he turned and walked away. Again. And I stood there, clutching that card, heart racing, skin still burning where he'd touched me. I looked down at the card. No name, no address, just a number embossed in silver. My hand shook. I should throw it away. Forget him. Forget tonight. Go back to my quiet, invisible life. But I couldn't, because for the first time in 40 years, I wanted something, and that terrified me more than anything. I stared at the card. Silver numbers gleamed under the convenience store lights. My thumb traced over them, slow, like touching something forbidden. Call me when you figure out what you want. But I already knew what I wanted. I wanted to stop being invisible. I wanted someone to look at me the way he had, like I was worth catching, worth claiming. My hand trembled. I pulled out my phone, unlocked it, stared at the blank screen. Just type the number, one digit at a time. My finger hovered over the keypad. What are you doing, Hanul? You don't know him. You don't know what he wants. You don't know what this will cost. But my fingers moved anyway. One number, then another, then another, until all 10 digits glowed on the screen. I pressed call before I could stop myself. It rang once, twice. My heart slammed against my ribs. 3 times. Maybe he won't answer. Maybe this was a test. Maybe... Hanul. His voice low, certain, like he'd been waiting. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. I can hear you breathing, he said, so I know you're there. My voice cracked. I called. I know. Silence. Not empty. Heavy, like he was listening to more than just my words. Why? He asked. You told me to. That's not why. I closed my eyes, leaning against the cold glass behind me. I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, you do. I don't even know you. You know enough. I don't know anything. My voice rose, shaking. I don't know your name. I don't know what you want. I don't know why you looked at me like what? I swallowed hard. Like I wasn't a joke. The silence stretched, then quietly. You're not. 2 words, but they hit me like a fist to the chest. Everyone thinks I am, I whispered. I don't care what everyone thinks. Why not? Because I don't follow crowds, Hanul. I make them. The certainty in his voice sent a shiver down my spine. Where are you? He asked. Outside a convenience store near the bar. Stay there. What? Don't move, I'm coming. Wait, you don't have to. The line went dead. I stared at my phone. He's coming. Panic flared in my chest. What did I just do? I looked around. The empty street, the flickering lights, the distant hum of traffic. I could leave, run, disappear before he got here, go back to being invisible, safe, alone. But my feet didn't move because I didn't want safe anymore. 5 minutes passed, then 10. I paced in front of the store, heart racing, hands shaking. What if this was a mistake? What if he... A black car pulled up to the curb. Sleek, expensive, tinted windows. The back door opened, and Kihyun stepped out. He looked the same, sharp, dangerous, dressed in black. But there was something different in his eyes now. something focused, hungry. He walked toward me, slow and deliberate, and I couldn't breathe. "You're still here," he said. "You told me to stay. And you listened." He stopped in front of me, close enough that I could feel the heat radiating off him. "Get in the car." My pulse spiked. "What?" "Get in the car, Hanul. Where are we going?" His eyes locked on mine. "Somewhere you can stop shaking." "I'm not." He reached out, fingers brushing my jaw, and I froze. "You've been trembling since the moment I touched you," he murmured. "I want to know why." "I'm scared. Of me. Of this." His thumb traced my lower lip, feather light, and my knees went weak. "Good," he whispered. "You should be." Then he stepped back, holding the car door open. "But I won't hurt you. Not unless you ask me to." The words hung in the air, dark and promising. I should say no. I should walk away. But I didn't. I climbed into the car. The interior was dark, leather seats soft beneath me. Kihyun slid in beside me, and the door closed with a heavy thunk. The driver, a man I didn't look at, pulled away from the curb without a word. I sat rigid, hands clenched in my lap, staring straight ahead. "Relax," Kihyun said. "I can't." "Why not?" "Because I don't do this." "Do what?" "Get into cars with strangers. Go to places I don't know. Let people—" I stopped, breath hitching. "Let people what?" "Touch me, see me, want me." But I couldn't say it. He shifted closer, and I felt his gaze on my face. "You're 40 years old," he said quietly. I flinched. "And you've spent your entire life being invisible, being ignored, being told you're not enough." My throat tightened. "How do you—" "I see it in your eyes." His voice dropped. "The way you hold yourself, like you're apologizing for existing." Tears burned behind my eyes. "But you're not invisible to me, Hanul." I turned to look at him, and his expression was soft, almost gentle. "I see you," he said. "All of you, and I want more." "Why?" My voice broke. "Why me?" He leaned in, close enough that his breath warmed my skin. "Because when you walked into that bar tonight, drenched and broken and trying so hard to be brave," his hand covered mine, fingers lacing through, "I knew I'd never let you go." My heart stopped. "You don't even know me." "I will." The car turned down a narrow street, lights blurring past the window. "Where are we going?" I whispered. "Somewhere safe." "Your place?" "Yes." Panic spiked. "I can't—" "You can." His grip tightened. "And you will, because you're done running, Hanul." "I'm not running." "Then prove it." The car stopped. I looked out the window. A tall building. Glass and steel. Expensive. The driver opened the door. Kihyun stepped out, then turned, offering his hand. I stared at it. This was the moment. The choice. Go with him and risk everything, or leave and stay invisible forever. I took his hand. His fingers closed around mine. Warm, strong, certain. He pulled me out of the car, and my legs barely held me. The building loomed above us, all glass and steel, reflecting the city lights like a fortress. "This way," he said, leading me toward the entrance. A doorman appeared, bowing slightly. "Mr. Choi." Choi. Choi Kihyun. The name settled in my mind, heavy with weight I didn't understand yet. We stepped into the lobby. Marble floors, high ceilings, everything cold and pristine. I felt small, out of place, like I didn't belong here. Ki-hyun's hand tightened around mine, as if he could sense my thoughts. "Don't," he said quietly. "Don't what?" "Don't shrink." We reached the elevator. He pressed the button for the top floor. The doors closed, sealing us in. Silence. Just the hum of machinery and my racing heartbeat. I could feel him watching me. "You're trembling again," he murmured. "I know." "Why?" "Because I don't know what happens next." The elevator climbed higher. "What do you think happens next?" And he asked. I looked at him, at those dark, unreadable eyes. "You tell me what you want, and my voice caught. "I don't know if I can give it to you." His expression didn't change. "I haven't asked for anything yet." "But you will." "Yes." The honesty in that single word made my breath hitch. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. A hallway. One door at the end. Kihyun led me forward, his hand never leaving mine. He unlocked the door, pushed it open, and I stepped inside. The penthouse stretched before me, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul, furniture dark and expensive, everything perfectly arranged. Cold, beautiful, empty, like a place no one actually lived in. Kihyun closed the door behind us. The sound echoed, final. I turned to face him, heart hammering. "Why did you bring me here?" He set his keys on a table, shrugged off his coat. "Because you called me." "That's not an answer." "It's the only one that matters." He moved toward the windows, hands in his pockets, staring out at the city below. I stayed near the door, frozen. "You can leave," he said without turning around. "Anytime you want. The door isn't locked." I glanced back at it. He was right. I could walk out, go home, forget this ever happened. But I didn't move. "Why aren't you leaving?" he asked. "I don't know." "Liar." He turned to face me, and the intensity in his gaze pinned me in place. "You know exactly why you're still here." "Then tell me." He crossed the room in 3 strides, stopping inches away. "Because you're tired of being invisible. Tired of being the joke. Tired of living half a life because you're too afraid to take what you want." Each word hit like a blade. "You don't know what I want, don't I?" He reached out, fingers tracing my jaw, and I gasped. "You want to be seen, touched, claimed. You want someone to look at you like you're worth destroying the world for." My breath came in short, sharp bursts. "That's not—" "It is." His thumb brushed my lower lip. "And I'm offering." "Offering what?" His eyes darkened. "Everything." The word hung between us, heavy and impossible. "I don't understand." "You will." He stepped back, giving me space. "Sit," he said, gesturing to the couch. I hesitated, then obeyed. He moved to the bar, poured 2 glasses of something amber, brought one to me. "Drink." I took it with shaking hands, sipped. Whiskey. Expensive. Burning. He sat across from me, watching. "Ask me," he said. "Ask you what?" "Whatever you're afraid to know." I stared at him, mind racing. There were 1,000 questions, but only one that mattered. "Who are you?" His lips curved. "Choi Kihyun. You already know that." "That's a name, not an answer." He leaned back, swirling his glass. "I run a family business. Import, export, investments. We operate in Seoul, Busan, Jeju. We have connections." "Connections?" "Yes. Mafia." The word fell flat. He didn't deny it. "We prefer organization," he said calmly. "But yes, if it makes you feel better to call it that." My hands went numb. "You're a criminal. I'm a businessman who operates outside conventional structures." "That's the same thing." "Is it?" He stood, moved to the window again. "I don't hurt innocent people, Hano. I don't traffic. I don't deal in anything that causes suffering. I protect my people, I honor my agreements, and I eliminate threats." "Eliminate?" "Yes." The casualness in his voice made my stomach twist. "Why are you telling me this?" He turned, eyes locked on mine. "Because if you stay, you need to know what you're walking into. And if I leave, then you walk away. Tonight never happened. You go back to your life." I set the glass down, hands shaking too hard to hold it. "Why me?" I whispered. "Why would someone like you want someone like me?" He crossed back to me, crouched in front of the couch so we were eye level. "Because you're real," he said quietly. "Everyone else I meet wants something. Power, money, status. But you," his hand covered mine, "you didn't even know who I was. You looked at me like I was just someone. And when I touched you, you didn't flinch because of fear. You flinched because you felt it too." "Felt what?" "This." He lifted my hand, pressed my palm against his chest. His heartbeat, fast, hard, matching mine. "I don't do this," he said. "I don't bring people here. I don't share my name. I don't offer anything." "Then why?" "Because the moment I saw you walk into that bar, drenched and broken, and trying so hard to disappear. His grip tightened. I knew I'd burn the entire city down before I let you fade. My chest ached. You're insane. Probably. I'm 40 years old. I'm nobody. I'm mine. The word cut through everything. You don't own me, I whispered. Not yet. His eyes held mine, dark and endless. But I will, Hanul, if you let me. My breath caught. And if I don't? He smiled. Sad, almost gentle. Then I'll watch you walk away, and I'll hate every second of it. Silence, just our breathing, our heartbeats. I'm scared, I admitted. Good. You should be. Why? He leaned closer, breath warm against my lips. Because once you say yes, there's no going back. You'll be mine. Protected, claimed, marked. Marked. His hand moved to my neck, fingers brushing the gland there. I gasped, fire shooting through my veins. You're unmated, he murmured. Untouched, pure. Don't say that. Why not? It's true. It's humiliating. It's beautiful. His lips brushed my ear. And I want to be the only one who ever changes it. My entire body went rigid. You mean, yes. But we just met. I don't care. You don't even know me. I will. Kihyun. Say yes, Hanul. His voice dropped, rough and desperate. Say yes, and I'll give you everything. Protection, safety, a life where no one ever mocks you again, where you're never invisible, where you're worshipped. Tears burned my eyes. And if I say no, his hand fell away. Then I'll call the car, and you'll go home, and I'll never contact you again. He stood, stepped back. Choose. I stared up at him, at this dangerous, beautiful man who saw me when no one else did, who wanted me when no one else had. My mind screamed to run, but my heart was already his. Yes. The word left my lips, barely louder than a breath. Yes. Kihyun went completely still. His eyes searched mine, looking for doubt, for hesitation, for any reason to stop. But I didn't take it back. Say it again, he whispered. Yes. Something shifted in his expression, something dark and possessive and hungry. He closed the distance between us in one step, hands cupping my face. You understand what this means? I nodded, throat tight. Say it. I need to hear you say it. I'm saying yes to you, to this, to whatever you're offering. His thumb traced my cheekbone, gentle despite the tension radiating through him. Once I mark you, Hanul, there's no going back. You'll be bonded to me. My scent will be in your skin. My claim will be permanent. My heart slammed against my ribs. I know. And you still want this? Did I? I'd spent 40 years invisible, 40 years being nothing to anyone. And now this man, dangerous, powerful, impossible, was looking at me like I was the only thing that mattered. Maybe it was reckless. Maybe I'd regret it. But for once in my life, I wanted to be wanted. I want this, I whispered. His control snapped. He kissed me, hard, desperate, like he'd been holding back for hours and couldn't anymore. I gasped against his mouth, and he deepened the kiss, one hand tangling in my hair, the other gripping my hip. I'd never been kissed before, never been touched like this. It was overwhelming. His taste, his scent, the heat of his body pressed against mine. My hands clutched his shirt, holding on because my legs wouldn't support me anymore. He pulled back slightly, breathing hard. Bedroom, he said, voice rough. Now! He didn't wait for an answer. He lifted me, easily, like I weighed nothing, and carried me down the hall. My arms wrapped around his neck, heart racing so fast I thought it might burst. He kicked open a door. The bedroom was dark, minimal. A massive bed, more windows, city lights casting shadows across the floor. He set me down on the bed, and I sank into soft sheets that smelled like him. Steel and storms and something darker. He stood over me, eyes burning. Last chance, Hanul. Tell me to stop, and I will. I should. This was insane. But I didn't want him to stop. I wanted this. Wanted him. More than I'd ever wanted anything. Don't stop, I whispered. He exhaled slowly, then pulled his shirt over his head. I couldn't breathe. His body was all hard muscle and scars, marks of a life I couldn't imagine. Dangerous, beautiful, terrifying. He climbed onto the bed, caging me beneath him. I'll be gentle, he murmured, fingers tracing my jaw. I promise. I trust you. The words surprised us both, because they were true. I barely knew him, but something in me recognized him, trusted him. Maybe that made me foolish, but I didn't care anymore. His lips brushed mine, softer this time. You're shaking again. I'm nervous. I know. His hand slid down my side, slow and careful. But I've got you. He kissed me again, and this time I kissed back. Clumsy, uncertain, but he didn't seem to mind. He guided me through it, patient and deliberate. Until I relaxed beneath him, his hands moved to the buttons of my shirt. Can I? I nodded. He undid them one by one, eyes never leaving mine. When my shirt fell open, his gaze swept over me. I wanted to cover myself, hide, but his expression stopped me. He looked at me like I was something precious, something worth protecting. Beautiful, he murmured. I'm not. You are. He leaned down, pressing kisses to my collarbone, my shoulder, the hollow of my throat. Each touch sent fire through my veins. I gasped, fingers digging into his shoulders. Kihyun. I know, he whispered against my skin. I know. His mouth moved lower, and I arched beneath him, overwhelmed by sensations I'd never felt before. Tell me if it's too much, he said. It's not. Tell me if you want me to stop. I don't. He smiled against my skin. Good. His hand slid to the waistband of my pants, and I tensed. He paused immediately. Breathe, he said softly. Just breathe. I did. In. Out. He waited until I relaxed again, then continued. Slow, careful, giving me time to adjust. When I was finally bare beneath him, I felt exposed, vulnerable, but not ashamed. Because the way he looked at me, no one had ever looked at me like that, like I was everything. You're perfect, he whispered. I'm not. You are to me. He shed the rest of his clothes, and I couldn't look away. He was all power and control, and barely restrained hunger. Nervous? He asked. Terrified? His expression softened. I'll take care of you, I promise. He settled between my legs, hands gentle on my hips. This will hurt at first, he said quietly, but I'll make it better. Trust me. I do. He kissed me again, deep and slow. Then he pressed forward. I gasped, pain flaring sharp and bright. He stopped immediately. Breathe, he murmured against my lips. Just breathe through it. I did, fingers clutching his shoulders. He moved slowly, so slowly, giving me time to adjust. The pain faded. And then, heat, pressure, something overwhelming and consuming. Okay, he whispered. Yes. He began to move, careful and controlled. I clung to him, lost in sensation, in the feeling of being connected to someone for the first time in my life. His breathing grew ragged. Hano, don't stop. I'm going to mark you, he said, voice rough. Now, are you ready? Was I? I didn't know, but I nodded anyway. Yes. His mouth moved to my neck, to the gland there. I felt his teeth graze my skin. Then he bit down. Pain exploded through me, white hot, all-consuming. I cried out, but he held me steady, growling low against my throat. Then the pain shifted. Warmth flooded through me, his scent, his presence, wrapping around my soul like chains, binding us, forever. My vision blurred. I felt him everywhere, in my blood, my bones, my breath. He released my neck, licking the wound gently. Mine, he whispered, and I felt the truth of it settle into my chest. I was his, completely, irrevocably. He held me as the bond solidified, murmuring soft words I couldn't quite hear. My body trembled, overwhelmed. I've got you, he said. I've got you. I believed him, because I could feel him now, his emotions, his presence, the steady certainty of him anchoring me. Kihyun, I whispered. I'm here. I feel you. I know. He pressed a kiss to my forehead. That's the bond. You'll always feel me now. Always. The word should have terrified me, but it didn't. Because for the first time in 40 years, I wasn't alone. He pulled back slightly, looking down at me with those dark eyes. How do you feel? Strange. Full. Connected. Good. He brushed hair from my face. You did so well. Tears burned my eyes. Why are you crying? He asked gently. Because no one's ever, my voice broke. No one's ever wanted me like this. His expression hardened. Then they were fools. He kissed me again, soft and claiming. You're mine now, Hanno, and I protect what's mine. I believed him. Because I could feel the truth of it through the bond. He meant every word. He shifted, pulling me against his chest. I felt the mark on my neck throb, a constant reminder of what had just happened. Sleep, he murmured. You need rest. I don't think I can. Try. I closed my eyes, exhaustion pulling at me. But just as I started to drift off, his phone buzzed. Once, twice, 3 times. He cursed under his breath. I have to take this, he said quietly. Now? Yes. He pressed a kiss to my temple. Stay here. I'll be right back. He slipped out of bed, grabbed his phone, and stepped into the hallway. I heard his voice, low, sharp, angry, then silence. I sat up slowly, pulling the sheet around myself. Something felt wrong. The bond hummed with tension, unease, fear, not mine, his. I stood on shaky legs and moved to the doorway. Kihyun stood in the hallway, phone pressed to his ear, jaw clenched. When? He demanded. Pause. How many? Pause, his hand curled into a fist. Keep him alive. I'm on my way. He hung up, turned, and saw me standing there. His expression shifted. Guilt, fury, something darker. Hanno, what's wrong? Nothing you need to worry about. Don't lie to me. I can feel you. He exhaled slowly. There's a situation. I have to handle it. What kind of situation? The kind that involves blood. My stomach dropped. You're leaving. I have to. Now? After? I gestured helplessly at the bedroom. I don't have a choice. There's always a choice. His eyes hardened. Not in my world. He moved past me, grabbing his clothes. I followed. Ki-hyun, stay here, he said, pulling on his shirt. Don't leave. Don't open the door for anyone. I'll be back soon. How soon? I don't know. Fear spiked through me. What if you don't come back? He stopped, turned, cupped my face. I will, he said firmly. I promise. Then he kissed me, hard, desperate, final, and walked out the door. I stood there frozen. The apartment felt too big, too empty. The mark on my neck throbbed. And through the bond, I felt him moving further and further away. I pressed a hand to my chest, trying to calm my racing heart. What had I just done? I'd bonded myself to a man I barely knew. A man who just walked out the door to handle something that involved blood. I should have been terrified. And I was. But more than that, I was his now. And there was no going back. I wrapped the sheet tighter around myself and walked back to the bedroom. The bed was still unmade, sheets tangled where we'd been. His scent clung to everything, steel and storms and something darker now. Possessive, permanent, mine. The bond pulsed in my chest, a constant awareness of him, even though he was gone. I could feel him, distant but present, moving through the city, angry, focused, dangerous. I sat on the edge of the bed, legs unsteady. What had I done? 20 minutes ago, I'd been a virgin, alone, invisible. And now, I touched the mark on my neck, wincing at the tenderness. Now I was bonded to a Mafia boss who just left me in his penthouse to go handle something that involved blood. My phone. Where was my phone? I found my pants crumpled on the floor, dug through the pockets. The screen lit up. 37 missed calls, 15 messages, all from the group chat. My hands shook as I opened it. Sang-woo. Where the hell are you? Min-suk. You didn't come home. Jae-hyun. If you're dead in a ditch somewhere, don't blame us. Sang-woo. Seriously, though, answer your phone. Minsuk. This isn't funny. I stared at the messages. They thought I was dead. Or worse, they thought I'd done something stupid because of their jokes. I should call them, tell them I was fine. But my fingers wouldn't move. Because I wasn't fine. I was in a stranger's apartment, marked and claimed, waiting for a man I barely knew to come back from doing something violent. This was insane. I set the phone down and stood, pacing. The apartment was too quiet, too big, too empty without him. The bond hummed, restless. I could feel his emotions bleeding through. Fury, calculation, something cold and lethal. What was he doing? Who was he hurting? My stomach twisted. I moved to the windows, staring out at Seoul spread below like a glittering web. Somewhere out there, Kihyun was. The bond flared. Pain, sharp and sudden, cutting through my chest. I gasped, hand flying to my ribs. Not my pain. His. Kihyun, I whispered. The pain faded, replaced by rage. Cold, controlled, deadly. Then nothing. Just emptiness. No. 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 I pressed my hand against the window, trying to feel him through the bond. There, faint, distant, but alive. I exhaled shakily. He was alive. But something had happened. Something bad. I needed to. The door to the penthouse opened. I spun around, heart lurching. But it wasn't Kihyun. A man stepped inside. Tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in black. He had a scar across his jaw and eyes that swept the room like a weapon. "Who are you?" I demanded, backing away. His gaze landed on me, and something shifted in his expression. "You're the Omega." I said, "Who are you?" "Taekwon, Kihyun's second." He closed the door behind him. "He sent me." "Why?" "To bring you something." He held up a black duffel bag. I didn't move. "What is it?" "Clothes, medication, things you'll need." "I don't need anything. I need him." Taekwon's expression was unreadable. "He'll be back soon." "How soon?" "I don't know." "Is he hurt?" Pause, too long. "Is he hurt?" I repeated, voice rising. "He's fine," Taekwon said carefully. "You're lying." "He's handled worse." "That's not an answer." I crossed the room, grabbing his arm. "Tell me what happened. Now." Taekwon looked down at my hand, then at my face. "You really don't know who he is, do you?" "I know enough." "No." His voice was flat. "You don't." He pulled his arm free, set the bag on the table. "Choi Kihyun runs the largest organized crime family in Seoul. He controls half the city's underground operations. He has enemies everywhere." My chest tightened. Tonight, one of those enemies tried to kill him. The words hit like a fist. "What?" "A rival family. They've been pushing into our territory for months. Tonight, they made a move." "Is he?" "He's alive. But 3 of our men aren't." I couldn't breathe. "He went to handle it personally," Taekwon continued, "to send a message, to make sure they never try again." "What kind of message?" Taekwon's eyes met mine. "The permanent kind. Blood. Kihyun had gone to kill someone, maybe multiple someones, and I'd let him mark me, bind himself to me, without knowing the full truth of what that meant." "I need to see him," I said. "No. That wasn't a request. He gave me orders. You stay here. You stay safe." "I don't care about his orders." "You should." Taekwon's voice hardened. "Because if something happens to you now, he'll burn this entire city to the ground." I stared at him. "You're bonded," he said quietly. "Marked. His. Do you understand what that means in his world? Tell me." "It means you're untouchable. It means anyone who hurts you dies. It means you're the most dangerous thing in his life now. Because you're his weakness." The words settled over me like ice. "I didn't ask for this." "Neither did he." Taekwon's expression softened slightly. "But here we are." He gestured to the bag. "There's suppressants in there. Pain medication for the mark. Food. He wanted to make sure you had everything." "I don't want things, I want him." "Then wait." "For how long?" "As long as it takes." The bond pulsed. Closer now. He was coming back. I felt it. The shift in distance. the sharpening of his presence. Taekwon felt it too. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, then at me. He's 5 minutes out. He moved toward the door. I'll leave you two alone. Wait, but he was already gone. The door clicked shut. Silence. I stood there, heart racing, wrapped in a sheet that smelled like Kihyun. 5 minutes. I moved back to the bedroom, found my clothes, pulled them on with shaking hands. The mark throbbed. The bond hummed. He was close now, so close. I heard the door open, footsteps in the hallway. Then he appeared in the doorway. Kihyun, alive, whole, but different. His shirt was torn. Blood stained his collar. Not his, I realized with sick certainty. His knuckles were split and raw. His eyes were cold, empty, the eyes of someone who just killed. Hanul, he said quietly. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. He stepped into the room, slow and careful, like approaching something fragile. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't want you to see me like this. Like what? Like what I really am. The bond flickered. Guilt, shame, fear. Not of me, of losing me. You killed someone, I whispered. He didn't deny it. More than one. Yes, because they tried to kill you. Yes. I looked at him, at this man who'd marked me, claimed me, promised to protect me. This man who had blood on his hands. I should run. I should be horrified. But all I felt was relief, that he was alive, that he'd come back, that the bond between us was still solid and real. Are you hurt? I asked. He blinked, surprised. What? Are you hurt? I repeated, moving toward him. I felt pain through the bond. Was it yours? Just a scratch. Show me. Hanul. Show me. He hesitated, then lifted his shirt, a gash across his ribs, deep, still bleeding sluggishly. My hands shook as I reached for him. You need stitches. I've had worse. I don't care. I grabbed his hand, pulled him toward the bathroom. He followed silent, watching me with those unreadable eyes. I found the first aid kit Taekwon had left, set it on the counter. Sit, I ordered. He sat on the edge of the bathtub. I cleaned the wound carefully, hands steadier than I expected. He didn't flinch, didn't make a sound, just watched me. Why aren't you running? He asked quietly. Because I can't. The bond, it's not the bond. I met his eyes. I should be terrified. I should hate you for lying to me about what this life would be. I didn't lie. You didn't tell me the whole truth either. No, he admitted. I didn't. I pressed gauze against the wound, and he hissed slightly. But I'm not running, I continued, because for the first time in my life, someone sees me. Someone wants me, someone came back. His hand covered mine. I'll always come back, he said, voice rough. No matter what. Promise? I promise. I believed him, because through the bond, I could feel the truth of it. He meant every word. I finished bandaging him, then stepped back. You should shower, I said. Get the blood off. Will you stay? The question was quiet, vulnerable. Yes. Something in his expression cracked. He stood, pulled me against him, and just held me. I felt his heartbeat against my cheek. Steady, strong, alive. I'm sorry, he whispered into my hair, for bringing you into this, for making you mine without showing you everything first. I chose this, I said. I said yes. You didn't know what you were saying yes to. Maybe not. I pulled back, looking up at him. But I'm still here. His eyes searched mine. Why? Because you make me feel like I matter. You do matter. Then prove it, I said. Show me everything. No more secrets, no more half-truths. If I'm yours, then I deserve to know what that means. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. Okay, he said. I'll show you everything. Starting when? His lips curved, that dangerous, almost smile. Starting now. He stepped back, pulling his ruined shirt over his head. Blood stained his skin, dried and dark against the muscle. Not his blood, someone else's. I swallowed hard, watching him move to the shower, turn on the water. Steam began to fill the bathroom. Come here, he said. What? I said come here. I hesitated, then stepped closer. He reached for me, fingers gentle on my wrist. I meant what I said. No more secrets. But that means you see all of me, the parts that aren't pretty. I already know you kill people. Knowing and seeing are different things. He guided my hand to his chest, pressing my palm against a scar, long, jagged, running from his collarbone to his ribs. This was 5 years ago. A rival family tried to take over our territory. They sent 12 men. I killed 9 of them myself. One of them got close enough to do this. My fingers traced the scar. And this one, he moved my hand to his shoulder. 3 years ago, a business deal gone wrong. Someone thought they could double-cross me. They learned otherwise. Did you kill them? Yes. No hesitation. No guilt. Just fact. He turned slightly and I saw his back. More scars. Too many to count. These are older, he said quietly. From before I took over the family. When I was still proving myself. How old were you? 17 when I killed my first person. 19 when I became head of the family. My breath caught. So young. My father was weak, he continued, voice flat. He let other families push us around, take our territory, disrespect our name. So I did what he wouldn't. You killed him. He turned to face me, eyes hard. No. He died of a heart attack, watching me execute the men who'd been stealing from us. But I would have, if he'd tried to stop me. The honesty in his voice was brutal. No softening, no excuses, just the truth. Are you scared yet? He asked. I should be. Everything he was telling me should send me running. But I wasn't scared. I was curious. No, I said. His eyes narrowed. Why not? Because I can feel you through the bond. I know you're not lying. I know you're not trying to hurt me. And I know, I pressed my hand against his chest, over his heart, that everything you've done, you did to survive. Something flickered in his expression. Surprise, relief. Most people don't see it that way. I'm not most people. No. His hand covered mine. You're not. He pulled me closer until we were standing under the spray of the shower, clothes and all. Water soaked through my shirt, plastering it to my skin. What are you doing? I asked. Washing away the blood, he said. All of it. So when I touch you again, there's nothing between us. He peeled my wet shirt off, then his hands moved to his belt. I looked away, face burning. Don't, he said softly. Don't hide from me. Not anymore. I forced myself to look at him as he stripped away the rest of his clothes. Blood swirled down the drain, pink and diluted. He was beautiful and terrifying all at once. Your turn, he murmured. His hands moved to my waistband, and I didn't stop him. He undressed me slowly, carefully, until we were both bare under the water. Better, he said. Then he reached for soap, lathering his hands. Turn around. I did. His hands moved over my shoulders, my back, washing away the tension, the fear, the weight of everything that had happened. I need you to understand something, he said quietly. The world I live in, it's violent, dangerous, unforgiving. People will try to hurt you to get to me. They'll use you as a weapon against me. I know. No, you don't. Not yet. His hand stilled on my shoulders. But you will. And when that happens, I need you to trust me, no matter what you see, no matter what I have to do. I turned to face him. Water cascaded between us. What are you not telling me? His jaw tightened. There's a family. The Kims. They've been trying to take over Seoul for years. Tonight's attack was just the beginning. What do they want? Everything. Our territory, our operations, our power. He paused. And now, you. My blood went cold. Me? You're bonded to me, marked. That makes you valuable. A target. But they don't even know I exist. They will. His hands cupped my face. Word spreads fast in my world. By morning, every family in Seoul will know I've taken an Omega. They'll want to know who you are, where you came from, what you mean to me, and what do I mean to you? His eyes darkened. Everything. The word hung between us, heavy and absolute. That's why they'll come for you, he continued. To hurt me, to break me, to prove they can. Then let me go, I whispered. Before it's too late. Before... No! Kihyun? No! His grip tightened. I won't let you go. I won't let them touch you. I won't let anyone take you from me. Even if it means war? Especially then. The certainty in his voice was absolute. You'd burn the city down for me, I said quietly, without hesitation. I believed him, because through the bond I felt it. The depth of his obsession, his need, his absolute refusal to let me go. It should terrify me, but it didn't. What do we do? I asked. We prepare. He turned off the water, reached for towels. I'm moving you somewhere safer. Somewhere they can't reach you. Where? My family estate, outside Seoul. It's fortified, guarded. No one gets in without my permission. When? Tomorrow. That soon? He wrapped a towel around my shoulders, then one around his waist. I'm not taking chances with your life. We moved back to the bedroom. He pulled clothes from a closet, soft pants, a shirt that smelled like him. Wear these, he said. I dressed in silence, mind racing. This was real. I wasn't just bonded to a dangerous man. I was in danger because of him. Hanul. I looked up. He stood in front of me, dressed now, expression serious. I need you to promise me something. What? If something happens to me, if I don't come back one day, you run. You take the money I've set aside for you, and you disappear. You don't try to avenge me. You don't try to fight. You just run. No. Hanul. No. I stepped closer. You don't get to mark me, bond me, make me yours, and then tell me to run if things get bad. That's not how this works. That's exactly how this works. I protect you, even from myself. And who protects you? He blinked, caught off guard. I don't need protection. Yes, you do. I pressed my hand against his chest. You're so busy being the strong one, the dangerous one, the one everyone fears. But who takes care of you? His expression shifted. Vulnerable. Raw. No one. Wrong. I held his gaze. Me. I take care of you now. That's what bonding means, right? We're connected. What hurts you hurts me. What threatens you threatens me. That's exactly what it is. I took a breath. So stop trying to protect me from your world. I'm in it now, whether you like it or not. He stared at me for a long moment. Then he pulled me against him, arms wrapping around me tight. You're too good for this life, he whispered into my hair. Maybe, but I chose it anyway. Why? Because you chose me first. His grip tightened. We stood there holding each other, the bond humming between us, safe, solid, real. Then his phone buzzed. He cursed softly, pulling it out. His expression hardened. What is it? I asked. He looked at me, jaw tight. They know. Who knows what? The Kims. They know about you. My stomach dropped. How? Someone saw us at the bar. They've been watching. He scrolled through messages, face darkening with each one. They're asking questions, digging into your background. They know your name, where you work, where you live. My apartment, already secured. I have men watching it. But Hanul, he looked up, eyes burning. They sent a message. For me. Through you. What kind of message? He turned his phone toward me. A photo. My apartment building. My window. And written across the image in red. She's pretty. It would be a shame if something happened to her. I couldn't breathe. They're threatening me. Yes. To get to you. Yes. I looked up at him. What do we do? His expression went cold. Lethal. We end this. How? I'm going to meet with them. Tomorrow night. Neutral ground. And I'm going to make it very clear what happens to anyone who touches you. That's suicide. They'll kill you. They'll try. Kihyun. I don't have a choice. He cut my face. If I don't respond, they'll see it as weakness. They'll push harder, and eventually they will get to you. Then I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. If this is about me, I should be there. No, you can't just... I can, and I will. His voice dropped, dangerous. You're staying at the estate, under guard, where I know you're safe. And what if you don't come back? I will. Promise? He leaned in, pressing his forehead against mine. I promise, he whispered. I'll always come back to you. I wanted to believe him, but through the bond I felt it. The lie. He didn't know if he'd survive tomorrow. He was walking into a trap, and he knew it. You're lying. The words left my mouth before I could stop them. Kihyun went still. What? You're lying to me, through the bond. I can feel it. His expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Guilt. I'm not... Don't. I stepped back, breaking contact. Don't lie to me again. You promised. No more secrets. His jaw tightened. Hanul, you don't think you're coming back tomorrow, I said, voice shaking. That's what you're not telling me. You think this meeting is going to get you killed. Silence. He didn't deny it. Say something, I demanded. What do you want me to say? The truth. The truth. His voice rose. The truth is that the Kims have 40 men to my 20. The truth is they've been planning this for months, and I walked right into their trap by marking you. The truth is... He stopped, breathing hard. The truth is, I don't know if I'll survive tomorrow. But I have to go anyway. Because if I don't, they'll never stop hunting you. My chest ached. Then don't go. I have to. No, you don't. We can run. Leave Seoul. Disappear. Start over somewhere they can't find us. He laughed, bitter, hollow. You think I haven't thought of that? You think I wouldn't burn everything I've built just to keep you safe? Then do it. I can't. Why not? Because running makes me weak. His voice cracked. It tells every family in Korea that Choi Kihyun can be broken, that all it takes is one omega to make me abandon everything. And then they won't just come for you, Hanul. They'll come for everyone I've ever protected, every person under my name. They'll tear them apart just to prove they can. I stared at him. So you're choosing them over me? No, that's what it sounds like. I'm choosing to protect you the only way I know how. He grabbed my shoulders. By making sure no one ever threatens you again. By showing them that touching you means death. By... His phone buzzed again. And again. And again. He pulled it out, face going pale. What? I asked. He didn't answer. Just stared at the screen. Kihyun, what is it? He turned the phone toward me. Another photo, my cousin Sang-woo, sitting in what looked like a warehouse, tied to a chair, blood on his face, terror in his eyes, and a message beneath, trade, the omega for your cousin, midnight, Namsan Tower. Come alone. I couldn't breathe. They took Sang-woo. Yes. Because of me. Yes. My legs gave out. Kihyun caught me, holding me upright. This is my fault, I whispered. If we hadn't, this isn't your fault. Yes, it is. He's my family. My voice broke. He's an idiot and he's cruel and he made fun of me my whole life. But he's still my family and now he's going to die because He's not going to die. How do you know? Because I'm going to trade myself for him. My blood went cold. What? It's the only way. Kihyun's voice was calm. Too calm. They want you, but they'll settle for me. I'm worth more to them anyway. No. Hanul! No! I shoved him back. You're not doing this. You're not sacrificing yourself for him, for me, for anyone. I don't have a choice. There's always a choice. Not this time. He pulled away, moving to the closet, pulling out weapons I didn't want to see. Guns, knives, things that look lethal and efficient. What are you doing? I asked. Preparing. For what? Your own execution? For war. He checked a gun, loaded it with practiced efficiency. I'm going to that tower. I'm going to trade myself for your cousin. And then, he looked at me, eyes hard. I'm going to kill every single one of them. You can't take on 40 men alone. I've done worse. And if you fail, I won't. Kihyun, enough. He holstered the gun, turned to face me. This is happening. You can either accept it or fight me, but either way, I'm going. The bond pulsed between us. His determination, his rage, his absolute certainty. And beneath it, fear. He was terrified, not of dying, of leaving me alone. Don't do this, I whispered. Please. He crossed to me, cupped my face. I have to. Why? Because if I let them hurt your family, you'll never forgive me. And if I let them take you, I'll never forgive myself. Tears burned my eyes. I can't lose you. You won't. You don't know that. I do. He pressed his forehead against mine. Because I'm not dying tonight. I'm coming back to you. No matter what. Promise? I promise. But through the bond, I felt it again. The lie. He didn't believe it. He was saying goodbye. No, I said. No. I said no. I pulled back, wiping my eyes. You're not going alone. Yes, I am. Then I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. You can't stop me. Yes, I can. I'll lock you in this apartment if I have to. Then you'll have to knock me unconscious first, because I'm not letting you walk into a death trap without me. His expression hardened. This isn't negotiable. Neither is this. I stepped closer, meeting his gaze. We're bonded. That means we face this together. Not you protecting me while you throw your life away. Together. If you come with me, they'll take you, use you, hurt you. And if I stay here and you die, I'll spend the rest of my life knowing I could have done something and didn't. Hano, I'm not weak, Kihyun. I know you see me as this fragile thing that needs protecting, but I'm 40 years old. I've survived 40 years of being invisible, being mocked, being treated like I don't matter. I'm stronger than you think. He stared at me. This isn't about strength. Then what is it about? It's about keeping you alive. And what about keeping you alive? I grabbed his shirt. What about me having to live without you? What about me feeling you die through this bond because you were too stubborn to let me help? His hands covered mine. You can't help. Not with this. Yes, I can. How? I took a breath. By being bait. His eyes went wide. No. Listen to me. No, absolutely not. They want me, right? They want to use me against you, so let them think they've won. Hanul, I go with you to the tower. We make the trade. They take me, release Sangwoo, and think they've beaten you. But, I looked up at him. You don't leave. You stay close. And when they let their guard down, when they think they've won, you strike. You and your men. You end this. He was already shaking his head. That's too dangerous. More dangerous than you going alone? Yes, because if something goes wrong, if they hurt you before I can get to you, they won't. You don't know that. And you don't know you'll survive going alone. My voice broke. At least this way, we have a chance. Both of us, together. He closed his eyes, jaw clenched. Through the bond, I felt him waver, considering it, hating it, but considering it. If we do this, he said quietly, you follow my orders, exactly. No matter what you see or hear. You trust me to get you out. I do trust you. And if something goes wrong, it won't. If it does, his eyes opened, fierce and burning. You run. You don't look back. You don't try to help me. You just run. Promise me. I hesitated. Promise me, Hanol. Okay, I whispered. I promise. Another lie. Because if something went wrong, if he was in danger, I wouldn't run. I'd do whatever it took to save him, even if it killed me. He pulled out his phone, typed rapidly. What are you doing? I asked. Calling in everyone. Every man loyal to me. If we're doing this, we're doing it right. He pressed send, then looked at me. We have 4 hours until midnight. That gives us time to prepare, to position my men around the tower, to make sure. His phone rang. He answered immediately. Taekwon, listen. He stopped, went rigid. What? Pause. When? Pause. His face went white. How many? He hung up, looked at me. We're out of time. What happened? They moved up the timeline. They're not waiting until midnight. What? They're coming here, now. They know where you are. My heart stopped. How? I don't know. But we have maybe 10 minutes before they breach this building. He grabbed my hand, pulling me toward the door. We have to go, now. Where? Anywhere but here. We ran. We burst through the stairwell door, feet pounding on concrete. Down, down, down. Kihyun's hand gripped mine like a lifeline. Behind us I heard shouting. Footsteps. They were in the building. How many floor? I gasped. 12 more. My lungs burned. The mark on my neck throbbed, hot and insistent. Through the bond I felt his emotions. Rage, fear, determination. And something else, calculation. He was planning something. Kihyun, save your breath. Keep moving. We hit the 5th floor landing. The door above us exploded open. Gunshots rang out. Kihyun shoved me against the wall, covering me with his body. Bullets hit concrete, spraying chips and dust. Go! He shouted. We ran. 4th floor, 3rd, 2nd, almost there. The ground floor door, locked. No, I breathed. Kihyun fired up the stairwell, buying us seconds. Then he turned, aimed his gun at the lock, and fired. The door flew open. We stumbled into the lobby. Empty, dark. Where was everyone? The car's out front, Kihyun said. We run. Don't stop. Don't look back. I nodded. He pushed open the glass doors and froze. 20 men surrounded the entrance, all armed, all pointed at us. In the center stood a man I didn't recognize, tall, sharp-suited, with a smile that made my skin crawl. Choi Kihyun, he said pleasantly. Going somewhere? Kihyun's gun didn't waver. Kim Wonsik. That's CEO Kim to you now. Wonsik's eyes slid to me. And you must be the famous Omega Hanul, isn't it? I couldn't speak. Let him go, Kihyun said quietly. This is between us. Oh, I disagree. Wonsik stepped closer. See, the Omega is exactly what this is about. You broke the rules, Kihyun. You marked an outsider without permission from the council. You made yourself vulnerable. You made yourself weak. I made myself dangerous. No. Wonsik's smile widened. You made yourself desperate, and desperate men make mistakes. He gestured, and 2 of his men moved forward. Kihyun fired. Both men dropped, but more stepped forward to replace them. Too many. We were surrounded. Last chance, Wonsik said. Give me the Omega. Walk away. I'll even let your men live. No deal. Then you both die here. Kihyun's finger tightened on the trigger. Through the bond, I felt him preparing to fight, to die fighting if necessary. Wait, I said. Hanul, I'll go with you. No. Yes. I pulled away from Kihyun, stepping forward. I'll go with you, willingly. Just let him live. Let Sangwoo go. End this. Wonsik studied me, intrigued. Interesting. The Omega has a spine. Do we have a deal? I asked. Hanul, don't, Kihyun growled, but I ignored him. Do we? Wonsik smiled. We do. He snapped his fingers. 2 men grabbed me, wrenching me away from Kihyun. No! He lunged forward. Gunshots. He stumbled, red blooming across his shoulder. Kihyun! I screamed. He fell to one knee, but his eyes stayed locked on mine. I'm sorry, I whispered through the bond. Understanding flashed in his eyes, then rage. You promised. I lied. Just like he had. Once it grabbed my arm, pulling me toward a black van. Load him up too, he ordered, gesturing at Kihyun. I want him alive, for now. They dragged Kihyun to his feet. He fought, but there were too many. Blood dripped from his shoulder, his mouth. Our eyes met, and through the bond I felt everything he couldn't say. I'm coming for you. I'll kill them all. I'll burn the world down. Just hold on. They threw us into separate vans. The last thing I saw before the doors slammed shut was his face. Bloodied, furious, and absolutely lethal. Then darkness. The van moved. I was pressed against cold metal, hands zip-tied behind my back. Someone sat beside me, breathing heavy. Hanul? Sangwoo. You're alive, I breathed. Barely. His voice was rough. What the hell did you do? Why are you here? They wanted me. Why? Because I'm bonded to Choi Kihyun. Silence. You're joking. I'm not. You bonded yourself to the most dangerous man in Seoul? Yes. Are you insane? Maybe. Probably. But it didn't matter now. The van stopped. Doors opened. Harsh light flooded in. Hands grabbed me, hauling me out. We were in a warehouse, massive, cold, empty except for chains hanging from the ceiling and bloodstains on the floor. Old blood. My stomach turned. They chained Sangwoo to a post. Then they brought in Kihyun. He was barely conscious, blood soaking his shirt. They chained him too, arms above his head, forcing him to his knees. Wonsik appeared, circling us like a predator. Beautiful, isn't it? All three of you, together, one happy family. Let them go, Kihyun rasped. You have me. That's what you wanted. Oh, I wanted much more than that. Wonsik crouched in front of him. I wanted to break you, and what better way than to make you watch? He stood, moved toward me. Kihyun's eyes went wild. Don't touch him. Or what? Wonsik grabbed my chin, forcing me to look at him. You'll kill me. You can barely stand. Through the bond, I felt Kihyun's rage. Incandescent, desperate, murderous. I'll rip you apart, he promised. Slowly. Empty threats. Wonsik released me, pulled out a knife. But let's make this interesting. I'll give you a choice, Kihyun. I'll let one of them live. The cousin who mocked him his whole life? Or the Omega you just met? Neither, Kihyun growled. Both of them walk out of here alive or nothing. Wonsik pressed the knife against my throat. Choose. Now. Or I choose for you. Kihyun's eyes met mine. And through the bond I felt everything. His love, his terror, his absolute unwillingness to lose me. Him, he said, voice breaking. Let Hanol go. Take me, take Sangwoo. Just let him go. Tears burned my eyes. No. Yes. Kihyun's gaze held mine. You promised you'd run, so run, please. I can't. You have to. Wonsik laughed. How touching, but I'm afraid. The warehouse doors exploded inward. Gunfire erupted. Wonsik's men dropped one by one, and through the smoke and chaos, I saw him. Taekwon, with 30 men behind him. Now, Kihyun roared. Taekwon fired, hitting Kihyun's chains. They shattered. Kihyun lunged forward despite his injuries, grabbing Wonsik by the throat. You made a mistake, he said softly. What? Kihyun's eyes were death itself. You thought I came alone. The fight was brutal. Kihyun moved like something inhuman, injured, bleeding, but unstoppable. He tore through Wonsik's men with bare hands and stolen weapons. Taekwon freed me and Sangwoo, pulling us to safety. Stay down, he ordered. But I couldn't look away. Kihyun had Wonsik on the ground now, fists pounding over and over. You threatened him, Kihyun snarled. You put your hands on him. Kihyun, I shouted. Stop, you'll kill him. That's the point. Stop. Something in my voice reached him. He froze, fist raised, breathing hard. Blood covered his hands, his own and Wonsik's. Slowly he stood. Wonsik coughed, wheezing. This isn't over, he gasped. Yes, Kihyun said quietly. It is. He pulled out his gun. Aimed. No! I ran forward, grabbing his arm. Don't, please. He tried to kill you. I know. He'll try again if I let him live. Then don't let him live free. But don't become a murderer in front of me, please. His hand shook. Through the bond I felt the war inside him. Rage and love, vengeance and mercy. Finally, he lowered the gun. Take him, he told Taekwon. Lock him up. I'll deal with him later. Taekwon's men dragged Wonsik away. The warehouse fell silent except for our breathing. Kihyun turned to me and collapsed. Kihyun! I caught him, or tried to. We both went down, his weight crushing. I'm fine, he mumbled. You're bleeding everywhere. Just a scratch. You were shot. I've had worse. I pressed my hands against the wound, trying to stop the bleeding. You're insane, I said, voice shaking. Completely insane. You're one to talk, he smiled weakly. You offered yourself as bait. You were going to die. And you think I'd survive watching them hurt you? Tears spilled down my face. You promised you'd come back. I did come back. Barely. His hand covered mine, warm despite the blood. I'll always come back to you, no matter what. Even half dead? Especially then. I laughed, broken, relieved, hysterical. Medics rushed in, and Taekwon pulled me away so they could work. He'll be okay, Taekwon said. He survived worse. How much worse? You don't want to know. Probably not. They stabilized Kihyun, loaded him onto a stretcher. I'm going with him, I said. Hospital's not safe yet. I don't care. Where he goes, I go. Taekwon studied me, then nodded. You're good for him. How do you know? Because he's never let anyone see him bleed before. 3 hours later, I sat beside Kihyun's hospital bed. He was unconscious, hooked up to monitors but alive, breathing. The bond hummed between us, steady, solid, real. Sang-woo sat across from me, bandaged and pale. So, he said finally, you're really bonded to him. Yes, to Choi Kihyun, the Mafia boss. Yes, and you're okay with that? I looked at Kihyun's face, peaceful in sleep, younger somehow. Yes. Sang-woo was quiet for a long moment. I'm sorry, he said. I blinked. What? For the things I said, at your birthday, all those years, making you feel like you were worthless. My throat tightened. You were right, though. I was 40 and alone. You weren't worthless. He looked at me. You were just waiting for someone worthy of you. Tears burned my eyes. Thank you. He nodded, then stood. I'll give you two some privacy, but Hanul, yeah? He really loves you. I could see it. The way he looked at you when that guy threatened you. That's not fake. I know. Good. He moved toward the door, then paused. For what it's worth. I'm glad you're not invisible anymore. Then he was gone. I sat there holding Kihyun's hand, watching him breathe. Hours passed. Dawn broke through the hospital windows, painting everything gold, and finally his eyes opened. Hanul, he whispered. I'm here. You're safe? I'm safe. He exhaled slowly, some tension leaving his body. Wonsik? Locked up. Taekwon has him. Good. His hand tightened around mine. And Sang-woo? Alive. Grateful. Changed, I think. Miracles do happen then. I laughed, wiping tears. How do you feel? Like I was shot and then punched a building. That's accurate. He smiled, tired but real. Come here. I leaned down and he pulled me into a gentle kiss. Soft, sweet, alive. When we pulled apart, I rested my forehead against his. I love you, I whispered. His breath caught. You do? Yes. I know it's too soon. I know we barely know each other. But through this bond, I feel everything you are. And I love it. All of it. Even the dangerous parts. His hand cupped my face. I love you too, he said. From the moment I saw you walk into that bar, drenched and broken and trying so hard to be brave, I knew. Knew what? That I'd never let you go. I smiled through tears. Good, because I'm not going anywhere. Promise? I promise. And through the bond, he felt the truth of it. No lies this time. Just us. Forever. 6 months later, I stood in Kihyun's penthouse. Our penthouse now. The city glittered below, alive and beautiful. Behind me, Kihyun wrapped his arms around my waist, pulling me close. What are you thinking? He murmured against my neck. That I was invisible for 40 years. And now? And now? I turned in his arms, meeting his eyes. Now I'm seen, loved, protected, claimed. And mine, he added. And yours. He kissed me, deep, possessive, perfect. When we pulled apart, I saw something in his expression, something nervous. What? I asked. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small box. My breath caught. Kihyun, I know we're already bonded, he said quickly. I know the mark makes us permanent, but I want more than that. I want the world to know you're mine. I want rings and vows and… Yes, he blinked. I haven't asked yet. I don't care, yes. He laughed, relieved, joyful, and opened the box. 2 rings. Simple, perfect. He slid one onto my finger. Marry me, Hanul. Not because of the bond, Not because of duty, but because I love you. Because you make me want to be better. Because I kissed him, cutting off his words. Yes, I whispered against his lips. 1,000 times yes. We stood there, holding each other, the city alive below us. And for the first time in 40 years, I wasn't invisible, I wasn't alone. I wasn't the joke. I was loved, chosen, his, and that was everything. The door opened behind us. Taekwon stepped in, phone in hand, expression urgent. Boss, we have a problem. Kihyun tensed. What kind of problem? Won-sik escaped. My blood went cold. When? 20 minutes ago. He left a message. What message? Taekwon's jaw tightened. He's coming for the Omega. Kihyun's arms tightened around me, protective and lethal. Let him try. Through the bond, I felt his absolute certainty, his rage, his love. We'll face him together, I said. Together, he agreed. Because we were bonded now, mated, forever. And nothing, not Won-sik, not rival families, not the entire underworld, would ever tear us apart. Somewhere across Seoul, in a dark warehouse, Won-sik smiled, touched the scar across his throat where Kihyun had nearly killed him, and whispered 2 words. Round 2.